however long I decide to stay bald at a zero guard, I think here's one of the things I'm going to be exploring in the process, is that ultimately we have this idea that there's this thing about the men who are balding, they envy men who still have hair. You know, one guy who's 30 thinks, man, that guy's got all of his hair. He doesn't even have any receding. Or fast forward to 40-year-old men that are definitely starting to lose their hair. It's undeniable and everything. But why does he have all of his hair? This idea that you would envy someone who still has all their hair. Hey, you know what I say? I'm Nick Shell, and I flip the script. Here's what I say. I think instead, what it often is men, whether they have all their hair or not, a lot of men envy men like me who have the confidence and who are brave enough to get rid of their hair, whether they are losing their hair or not. See, that's a very bold move. A lot of men can't do that. They just, for what maybe it's tied to their career or whatever it is, but they have reasons why they could never be as brave as I am and just buzz it off and think nothing of it. See, so I want you to think of this. And again, going back to the Black Mirror concept, forget about this familiar concept that, oh no, I'm losing my hair and I envy Ryan Seacrest because he's still got all of his hair. Instead, it's, man, I envy Nick Shell because even though he had hair, he doesn't care and he just shaves it off anyway. And that's something a lot of men don't have the courage to do. They can't build enough confidence to take that leap and do it because they're so worried, oh, I don't know that I could pull it off, or what will people think? Nick Shell doesn't care what people think about this, and I'm happier without the hair. I'm happier. So I think that is something we need to consider. We need to consider that even though it's not talked about, there are a lot of men who envy men who are willing to go bald, because that is a very bold choice. And it takes a lot of confidence and a lot of knowing who you really are to be able to do that. It's funny because I was watching this like Dateline 2020 thing about a year or so ago with my wife, and it was one of those like motivational speakers, but he had like a cult, and for men and women, he'd take them out to New Mexico or Arizona, and they live in these tents, and he made them all shave their head. Like that was part of the thing, like for the cult leadership thing. Like if you prove who you really are, take that leap. And I think there is some truth in that. So many men will never have what it takes to do this. They won't. And I invite everyone to become like me. Life is great on the other side. It is great, whether you have hair or not, whether you're balding or not. And see, think about this too. There's some men who have zero hair loss, yet they would be terrified to go bald because that's how much they've relied on having hair their whole life. They think, well, I'd only do that if I was losing my hair anyway. Think about the irony in that. I'm Nick Shell, and I say there are plenty of men who envy men like me who, whether they could grow hair or not, choose to go bald.